Hello, it is Ian Armstrong. I'm going to do a little bit of an informational on stuff that I've learned that would have been was part of the challenge of people like Charles Darwin, people with that much of an open mind that are still today confused on the abominable mystery, the forest, by Charles Darwin. A statement made by him that has never changed. So I'm going to just point out some stuff and you flow with it. You let me know, you let me go, you do whatever you want to do. But this is a tree that's obviously fallen. Fair enough? See how it's on the land here? See how the land would still be able to feed it? In our knowledge, we know that. These different branches here are alive, doing well. There's going to be probably a couple that are poked into the ground there. Almost for sure. See this one here? It's actually growing a tree from a tree. That is not in the DNA of a tree. See right over there, way out on the branch? It's growing a tree out of a branch. So this branch here might have started since the tree was down and done that. Might have already been started a little bit, then has been transforming like that. See these ones over here, these three wrapping right there? That will be for a larger amount of feeding off of here. And I'll show you how. Off of that larger branch that the little branches come from. It's because all of this here, from this live tree here, is being brought into the growth of it. And you can see a real good specimen of it right there. Where what is happening there, and let me see, there's a junction right there, there's more right there. See how that heavy, where's that heavy one? Yeah, the heavy one going there, and then that lighter one there. Those are all cross-feeding. That's all what we would think is natural grafting. But to the guys who are really in here and what it's all about, it's confusion. These knocked off branches, the ones that you can see that have obviously died, there's different symptoms for us to be able to come and check and see what actually triggered them to die. Because you could go up to the needles now and pull on them and maybe they don't fall off. But in another case, say that one was died a different way than different cause than maybe this unnatural one did, and you go up and you pull on the needles and they just all start falling. That's just two understandings how to get to realize they speak different a difference in how they have been deceased, let alone growing. So what I want to show you here is, see this one right here? That's not going to be red paint from the saw, most likely is my guess. Then we even got another mark of it here, and I can turn around and say that. But it truly might be from the saw. Okay, that's just me throwing out a speculation there. Anyways, I happen to notice that some person cut these all off. I really believed, I went through it, I really believed that they had cut them off. There were some missing from before that I didn't believe a person had done. And so on and so forth. But I happen to know, like this one here, for sure, was looking like that. And now it's looking like this. So when you get to look at this and truly try to understand the language in that cut, just like you get to see there's a language of skin on this part of the growth. There's language on why this is all going on. It's, what do we call it other than language? We call it patterns. So that's what I've been trying to explain to people. I've been watching patterns. I've been watching the patterns year round on a lot of this stuff. I've been paying attention to the birds at the same time as I pay attention to the rocks, as I pay attention to the trails and their demise, the different statements of patterns within the... There's a good one down here. See if we can get it in there, up the center with it, down in that sand there. Some interesting, all that little stuff going on there. That is, I'm going to really jump out here, and I think it's easily made by the little ones. Those small of fake prints, fake holes, fake raindrops, fake all kinds of animal prints that I show you quite often. But the tiniest of a hole or mark can be also fake on these clay mounds on the sand. You know, within the gravel, you walk out your driveway and you happen to look down right there, and there's kind of, say, almost like a circle of rocks or something. Let your mind know. Okay? The more you let your mind know, the more you're going to be safe. Because then your backup mind is always trying to figure out ways for you to feel comfortable. And you'll be able to start flowing with that natural comfort instead of maybe what TV has taught us. Like, for instance, the freedom of single hikers is ridiculous. How many single hikers still go out there and go missing? And we just think it's okay for us all to go out single hiking, single camping trips. It's just not right. We got to be a lot more sensible than that, guys. So that's what I'm partly about is I don't like the missing people. I don't like the mutilated animals. And I'm sure the mutilated animals, which have specific signs that pretty much outside the scope of the work, I'm the only person who can probably talk about it. Everybody else is a detective or whatever. And the cases are, you know. And so in saying that, I believe that there's going to be mutilated type signs also on the humans, which is pretty specific surgical type cuts. Look up the Vice TV's mutilated animal issues out in England or something like that, and you'll see that at that time there was like 300 mutilated cats, and in their writings of the autopsy veterinarians and such, they would say that they're like what do you call it, surgically precision type cuts. So those aren't my words, and here in Canada we use like a tool. The cuts, the mutilations are done with a tool. In the States it's something else, but I'm telling you right now, there's also what's going on with the humans. So let's find it out. Let's see what little things are running around and doing harm to lots. But it's the way of the jungle. It's the way of the land. It's supposed to be that way. And we get to do a new level of communication. I'll tell you that. Like that communication you're hearing right now. If you heard that, there was some tapping there, knocking, and yeah, it's actually a pretty short video. The pattern, that bang in there is different. It's a bridge, but that's falling apart from these guys. And also the pattern on these trees. You see all that bark and stuff? It's a number of different patterns. Like you see different kinds of mosses, different things like this. Those are all the patterns that I watch, guys. On many of the different species of the trees. And they all have answers. So you can join in. Cheers out.